Welcome to Body. We got my guy Dev Swami on.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for having
dude?
me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah. I mean, I live in a sober house, and I was on restriction for a solid minute, which means, like, you're not allowed to leave the house, and they take your phone.
Yeah, what'd you do?
It's
Wait,
really...
move this down a little bit closer to your mouth.
It's really... Is that good?
Yeah.
It's really embarrassing, actually. Well, it is.
God.
It is for a drug addict. I took some kratom, which is like.
Wait, I heard about that. Wait, that's what is that?
So like they give it to like people suffering from opioid withdrawal, and it's like an anti-anxiety thing. They sell it in every single smoke shop, but you don't even get high from it. Like I took some and I was like, I feel fucking nothing, bro. So when you tell people in AA and NA that you got put on restriction for taking kratom, they're like, you're ridiculous. You should have just fucking drank or something, bro.
Doesn't kratom like mess you up a little bit?
Not.
I mean, if you're a drug
I guess if you're
person.
a drug addict or an alcoholic, it's like, why am I even doing this? But not really. You feel something from it, and you get like, you start shaking a little bit. But I took some. And
so what's it like? Is it like heroin or is it like coke?
Neither. It's like not. It's like a very mild like body like high, I guess, if you even want to call it a high.
Oh, well, people are going to start abusing that. Is that legal? It's legal.
It's legal. They sell it in every smoke shop.
And that's why you got in trouble?
That's why I got in trouble. So I was on restriction for like a month-ish. And then I was on restriction before because for some like whack-ass reason, someone offered me like Adderall. And I was like, yeah. And then they were like, I can't do it. And obviously when you offer me like drugs, and then you say you can't, I'm gonna beg. I'm gonna beg you for them. Like I'm gonna be like, bro, you promised me drugs, and then he screenshotted me begging him, and he sent it to my house manager, and they done put me on restriction for that.
Wait, so they like set up things?
They
do sting operations?
No, it was like he wasn't even a house manager or nothing. He just decided that like, hey, I'm gonna fuck this guy over.
How did he know?
How did he know what?
How did he know that you were in a house?
He was like he went to my treatment center.
Oh,
so like he knows my house manager because my house manager also works at the treatment center, which is like it's
what a dick move.
It's some next level snitch shit for real.
I mean, a drug, a person, what were you addicted to?
Alcohol and Adderall
at the same time.
Oh yeah, bro. That's if you ever are like, oh no, I want to drink but I can't drink anymore. Pop 30 milligrams, you're gonna be up for a minute. You're going to want to keep drinking.
And having a great time?
Yeah, having a great time. And you're, like, alert at the same time as you are drunk. It's beautiful. It's truly a beautiful thing. But it's not, like, common. People are always, like, Coke and alcohol. I like to think of Adderall as the academics' methamphetamine. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, yeah. I've heard it as children's meth.
Yeah, no. That's why I don't like NA. Because people are like, yeah, I used to shoot meth in my neck. I'm kicking heroin.
Narcotics.
I'm kicking crack. I'm like, I'm kicking Adderall.
Well, doesn't that mean it's illegal?
Yeah, I mean, there are like scheduled. There are like
Schedule
narcotics.
1 narcotic.
Yeah, so like.
Okay,
Xannies,
what made you take the jump?
From what?
From doing it to not.
To not doing Adderall?
Yeah. Well, from partying to not partying.
Oh my God, crazy story. Did
you get arrested or what?
No, I didn't get arrested. So the first time. My parents caught me, like, smoking weed. They didn't know how much I was drinking. But then they sent me to rehab the first time. And I needed to be there because I was drinking a lot. I was drinking, like, a handle a day. And then it was, like, 3 months. I'm, like, perfect. And the whole time, I'm not like any of these people. I'm not an alcoholic. That's crazy. I just like to drink. Yeah. The second time, I got caught stealing my dad's liquor. And I got caught smoking weed, like, within, like, a week of each other. And my mom kicked me out the house, right? Like, she was like, you can't live here if you're smoking. We already caught you smoking once. So I was, like, couch crashing for, like, a week. And she's like, come home. But she tricked me because I got 5150. So she tricked me, which means that, like, the cops come and they take you. And I detoxed in the psych ward, right?
Wait, what's 5150?
5150 is when, like, they think you're suicidal. And, you know, I was because I was drinking a lot and smoking a lot.
Oh, you were really?
Yeah. And they, like, take you to the crisis center at the hospital. They evaluate you, and they decide whether you need to go into involuntary, like, psych ward.
Because they think you're gonna harm yourself.
Yeah, right. And I wasn't,
Wow.
but I was like gaslighting them, like, no, I'm not suicidal. Y'all are crazy. And they didn't buy it. So they sent me to the psych ward for a week. I detoxed there. It was a rough week and a half. I was on like Librium and stuff.
What the hell is Librium?
Librium is a detox med that they give to alcoholics to prevent them from having seizures.
Oh, like withdrawals?
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay. But, like, that's probably something that you could get addicted to also, but it's hard to get, maybe?
Yeah, no, it's hard to get. It's not like they're selling it on the street. Like, there are much better things to do on the street than fucking Librium, bro.
Okay, so...
And then I went straight there to rehab, and it was like a 3-month rehab. So I was like, it was like not a residential rehab. It was like PHP with housing, like partial hospitalization with housing.
Okay.
Right? I pierced myself like 6 times while I was in rehab. I got 2 tattoos. There was like not
were those
shit
your
to
first
do.
2?
Yeah, they were my first 2.
And now you're a tattoo hound.
I don't know about that. I have 4 tattoos. I have one really bad one that I don't like to talk about.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But no, continue.
And then I would like the thing at this rehab was that, you know, they help you get into like an Oxford house, which is like what they call the lowest level of aftercare. So like basically like there's no house manager. It's just like a house of drug addicts run by the drug addicts who want to be sober. So it's like when your first 30 days there, they piss test you like once a week. And that's pretty much, and then like, you know, you go through like a trial period. You have curfew. Then they decide if they want to keep you, and then you have to hit a certain number of like AA or NA, like 12-step meetings a week. And then this is where it gets kind of crazy. I got so sick of living there, and I worked at Wawa, which is, you know what Wawa is.
Yeah. I did a little stint in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wawa. It's like
So
Walgreens.
I worked at a
or
Wawa.
Like 7-Eleven more.
So I was in East Brunswick, New Jersey. I worked at Wawa, and at 3 a.m., like I worked the night shift, graveyard shift from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., right?
Sure.
So at 3 a.m., this lady would come in, right? And I would give her free cigarettes, and I would give her free shit because she was really nice to me. And I was like, damn, I'm trying to like find a place to live. Do you know anywhere? She's like, I got you. And I'm like, it's like, I don't know this lady at all, bro. And I'm going to let her pick where to live.
Yeah.
And rather than do a cursory search on Facebook Marketplace, she gives me her number, and then she finds me a place to live. She's like, it's all set up. They got a washer, they got a dryer. You'll be crashing in the living room on the couch. I was paying like too much money to be crashing on a couch. I was paying them rent. I find out, like, I get there, I find out she's a crackhead, which like it was very obvious.
I mean, yeah.
But I was like, oh, she has 3 phone numbers. She must have a lot of friends. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
She would come in at 3 a.m., like crackhead hours to come in. She didn't look like a crackhead. But now that I think about it,
Not
because
yet.
like there's always a business idea that she had. Like she was always coming into some money. Like, I'll give you $40 later. You know, just keep me going with the cigarettes. And I was like, all right, fucking whatever.
So you gave her just free packs?
It just free packs. I worked the night shift. There were 2 other people there.
Yeah, but don't the Wawa corporate people notice that?
Not a pack every now and then. I would also steal a lot of packs of cigarettes from Wawa.
Oh.
Yeah.
They had good sandwiches there.
They do have good sandwiches there. And then, so I get to this new place, right? It's a couch. She's like, they got a washer and dryer. I found out the washer was a portable washer that leaked, so they had to put it in the shower when they washed their clothes. And the dryer was a line and some clothespins. So, like, good marketing on her part, bad decision making.
Great marketing.
Yeah, great marketing. And then they have this dog, right? And I eventually lose my job because I'm, like, just drinking and I just stop showing up. Like, first of all, I started drinking immediately after I left the sober house. Within 20 minutes, I made the guy driving me stop at the liquor store before he dropped me off at the new crib, right? I stopped paying rent, and they have a dog, right? And no one ever touches this dog. And the dog's like, you know, like, it's a small dog, so it's like pawing at me, like jumping up for attention. And I'm pretty drunk, so I'm feeling good. And I'm like, oh, come here, little puppy. Start petting it. She's on my lap. Like 3 days later, I get fleas, bro. I get fleas from the fucking dog. I'm literally like I'm a stray dog at this point, more animal than man.
Well, and now you figured out why no one touches that dog.
I'm like, and then I'm like, this dog has fleas, and she's like, yeah, we all have fleas. I'm like, don't
We
you
all
think,
have
don't you think I
fleas?
should have known that before I moved in, or you were like, hey, don't touch this dog, it'll give you motherfucking fleas.
Well, it didn't seem like a problem to her.
No,
Fleas to her seems like fine.
no, and fucking. Yeah, I got fleas. I would stop paying rent for like a month, and she was like, "You're gonna have to make arrangements." So I ended up, first of all, like, I was looking for my vape one time, right? And I like lift up the couch cushions, and there are like 3 or 4 syringes underneath the couch cushions, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put that back and pretend like I never. Saw
That's where
anything.
kids hide their candy wrappers.
Yeah, and
So,
I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm judging too hard. She could be a diabetic, and those are insulin needles.
Wow, you are really giving the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. And okay, so the son, it was a mother, a son, and like just some lady who like lived there for free, right? And the son was on parole, and he wouldn't tell me for what.
I was just gonna ask for what.
He wouldn't tell me for what, because I'm used to sober houses and rehabs where if people are like, oh, I'm on parole, you're like, oh, for what? He was like, I was just in jail. So I wasn't even supposed to be living there because I wasn't a registered resident of that house. They weren't supposed to be subletting it.
Gotcha.
And I had to keep the living room clean because the parole officer could come by at any time. And if they did, I had to pretend I didn't live there. You know what I mean?
Like you're a visiting guest.
Yeah, like, hi, I'm visiting. I don't live on the couch or anything.
Yeah.
So it was a very shady situation. I got kicked out of there, and it was either go to a homeless shelter or crash with my friend in the Bronx.
Go to the Bronx.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to the Bronx. And that's what led me to get sober. 'Cause when I got the fleas, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, this has to stop. Like, this is crazy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, when you started living, when you took the advice of the crackhead at 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
that's
I was just in, like, I was like, no, she's not a crackhead. She just likes to be, she's a night owl with a lot of friends, you know?
and she's got a lot of business ideas.
Yeah, she's pulling insurance scams, disabilities coming through. Crackheads always have a lot of business ideas. They're going to start a t-shirt company. There are like 2.
Well, that's where it starts. T-shirt company is like the beginning of the business ideas.
When there are crackheads that are like that walk among us, you know, that aren't like bona fide like crackheads or like, yeah, I'm a crackhead living on the streets. There's 2 major ways to tell if they're a crackhead. They're having business ideas, or they get really mad when you call them a crackhead. They get very upset. They're like, who told you that? Who told you I'm a crackhead? I smoke crack, okay? I'm not a crackhead.
Actually, now you bring that up, my old apartment, my roommate, his name's Kendall. He was, I love Kendall, but he was in the Navy, whatever. So we lived together. And one night we were up late. We were kind of hanging out, partying, when blasting music very loud. And this neighbor comes over, and she is insane. Like, she's like screaming through the door, screaming. And I'm like, oh, well, we're so sorry. We'll turn off the music. And she's like, no. And so, like, I don't know, I had the door cracked, and Kendall like said something Kendall goes from the couch. He goes, shut the fuck up, you meth addict. And she rips the door open and tries to attack Kendall. Which means she's definitely a meth addict. She looked like a
tweaker shit for sure.
She looked like her face. She had the meth face.
Yeah, the meth face.
But yeah, so I mean, when you said that totally reminded me of her. Literally tearing the door down. And I like Kendall's somebody that, like, I thought he was gonna kill her because he was in the Navy. Like this guy, I thought he was gonna stab her. So I literally bear hugged her and I pulled her out. And I was like, I literally bear hugged and I brought her just outside. And I was like, okay, you can't.
You can't. That's tweaker shit for sure.
You can't do that. Anyway, sorry. Continue. Okay, so Bronx. You're in the Bronx now.
I'm in the Bronx. No, I was totally sober.
Okay, let's start over. So you're in the Bronx.
I'm in the Bronx. I'm not partying and doing anything. I'm crashing with so my friend, I was in Yonkers for a bit, right? And my friend from high school lives with his grandma from boarding school. We went to boarding school together. We've been friends for we are 8 years at this point. This was 6 months ago, so 9 years to a decade. Don't know the number. And he was he gave me like a serious talk. He's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing with your life, man? Like, we went to the same school, man. And he's graduated by now, right? From college. And he's like, you can either go to the youth center, the homeless center, or you can crash with my mom and my stepdad, who live in a different apartment in Riverdale in the Bronx. And they're really cool. They're like, they took really good care of me. They fed me, but they were like, there are going to be some stipulations for you staying here. You can't drink, you can't smoke weed, you can smoke cigarettes, that's it. You have to do the dishes, you know. If we cook, you have to clean up. If you cook, you have to clean up. You've got to exercise because you're overweight, which, you know, obviously they were incorrect. You can tell by my slender frame that they're incorrect.
Okay, these people rule, by the way.
They did rule. And, like, they were really nervous about it because I'm a homeless alcoholic, bro. And they're inviting me into their home. I'm calling, like, sober houses in New York. There's a website for, like, sober houses all across the country. I call them, like, do you have any beds in New York? The dude is like, no, but I have a bed in West L.A., right? And I'm like, West L.A., huh? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, and there's a bed there? Because I've been crashing on couches for like 3 months at this point. So I'm like, bed? Fuck yeah. And then he hit me with the Holy Trinity. He's like, good weather, women, and beaches. And I was like, you know what? I'm sold. I'm on the next flight out.
So that's what brought you out here?
That's what brought me out here. That's why I'm out here. And then I started doing stand-up while I was out here because I'd always wanted to do it. And, you know, when I was drinking, it was never... I'd never do anything other than find ways to get more alcohol.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, comedians do that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm sober now. I have 5 months. In, like, 9 days, I'll have 6 months sober.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so guys...
Except for the kratom. I'm sober from alcohol, everyone.
Well, I mean, how I met Dev, I was hosting an open mic, and I was subbing. So the mics that I host are always packed because people know that I'm hosting that night. But the one that I was subbing in for, it was empty. Nobody was there.
Yeah.
And it was you and your buddy. Yeah. And you crushed. Yeah. Because I made you go up. Like, I'm not gonna.
You were like, don't stop, bro. Keep going. And I was like, all right.
I mean, we got a whole hour. Yeah. Keep talking. And you were great.
By the way, this guy, fucking killer host at open mics, like insane. There were 2 of us there, and it felt like there were 30 of us there.
I mean, I just like to I like to make it fun, and then especially if there's 2, like, I'm so glad your buddy was there because then you had like more of an audience. Yeah, I did make him go up too.
Yeah, you made him go up. That was his first time. He was funny too. Yeah, he is a really funny. He's the dude that shout out to Brennan. He's the dude that I like run all of my material by. You know, and every time I do stand up, I take a video, I send it to him. I'm like, what are your thoughts? And he always gives me like such good, real advice. Yeah, well, he's funny. He is funny. He's good. He's really gets funny. It. He went to boarding school with me too. You know, where we live together for when you're in boarding school, even if they're not your roommate, you live together. You're always in each other's rooms. You know, it's... Yeah, well, you're not going to sit in your own room by yourself, yeah. No, yeah. Well, some people like do. Boarding school, like as a kid, growing up? From high school. So from... He came like second year, third and junior and senior year he was there. I was there all 4 years. So you grew up in New Jersey? I grew up in New Jersey, from Princeton, New Jersey. I went to school in a little town called Blairstown. That's where the boarding school was from. Is that where the witch projects are from? Actually, like, you're joking, but yes. I mean, I wasn't. I mean, the names like they filmed it. They also, and that's their claim to fame. They also filmed a scene from like one scene from Friday the 13th, and every time there's a Friday the 13th, they have a huge parade. And fucking, there's a Friday the 13th museum on Main Street. It's literally the town's only claim to fame. Hold on, every Friday the 13th every Friday the 13th, there's a parade. With how fun is that? I mean, it's pretty fun, but like, when I'm trying to go to the grocery store on Friday the 13th, and there's fucking 20 cars. The streets are all blocked. Yeah, I'm like, come on, dude. Okay, I get that. Yeah. No, but, well, you were funny, though. You were good. Yeah, and thank you. Well, the best comedy is honesty, and you were so honest up on stage. Yeah. I mean, and that's like that. I mean, it came from a true place, and that's why it's funny. Yeah, I mean, a lot of my material is about being an alcoholic and being Indian, which I'm not even fully. Which Indian. Are both hilarious. They are both hilarious.
No, what were you gonna
But
say? Sorry.
it's a weird combination being an alcoholic and being Indian at the same time. So like my mom is white, my dad is Indian, and it's a very like weird dynamic because my mom like tries to understand and my dad's just like whatever. You know, and my dad's just like don't drink.
So you got the alcoholism from the white side, is what I'm hearing.
My dad actually drinks a lot, not recklessly, you know, but he drinks. He has a drink or two, and my alcohol of choice, vodka of any kind, preferably the cheapest, is the same as like his. He drinks Grey Goose every day. Every day he has like one or two martinis in the afternoon. Martini is a classy way to describe it. He just dumps vodka in a martini glass and he drinks it.
And put an olive in it.
But I remember when the first... No olive. no olive.
Okay. This guy parties.
Yeah, I remember the first time I got caught, like, drinking. And I was like... My mom's like, what are you doing? I'm like, Mom, I just don't... It was during COVID. Or a little after COVID. My mom was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I just don't want to be alive anymore, Mom. Like, I'm so sad. I was really depressed. And my dad calls me in. He's like, come here, I want to talk to you, okay? He's like, what's going on with this I want to die business? And I'm like, I just, you know, I'm drinking a lot, Dad. I don't really want to be alive anymore. And he was trying his hardest to be supportive. But the way it came across was, you know, it makes mommy so sad when you say things like this. Maybe mommy gets so sad she can't cook, she can't clean. I can't do either of those things, beta. Can you? And, you know, this is how I know that, like, I'm also Indian, because I was like, fuck, he's got a point. I can't do either of those things. You know, that's why it's weird. And he was like, okay, so my advice to you, only drink beer from now on, okay? And maybe don't tell anyone. You know, maybe don't tell mommy, okay? You know, it's a weird dynamic. My dad doesn't really understand it. My mom comes from a family of alcoholics, so she like understands it. She doesn't drink like at all.
Really?
Yeah. And my mom will like try and explain it to my dad. Like she's like, you know how you have that one drink every night? How do you feel without that drink? But you know, he just doesn't get it. Which, you know, he's supportive, but like he's also so Indian with the 12 steps. He's like, I told him, I'm like, I'm working the steps. The 12 steps for AA, there are like 12 steps, and you work them, like taking moral inventory and stuff like that for all the people who don't know. But I was on step 4, and I told my dad, like, I'm on step 4. He's like, what do you mean, steps? The stairs? Are you walking the stairs? And I'm like, no, the 12 steps, and I explained it to him. He's like, oh, okay, but you'll be done soon, right? Like, you're studying for them, and then you'll be done soon. And I'm like, yes, I will. And he's like, and after that, you're fully recovered. And I'm like, yep. But he doesn't, like, they say in AA that, like, you're never fully recovered. But I just tell him what he wants to hear.
Well, of course. I mean, yeah. He doesn't get it.
He doesn't
his routine, like, it's not, because he's not going to have more than 2 martinis. Like, that's his routine every day.
It depends. If he has to deal with family, he will have more than 2
7 martinis.
Yeah. Yeah, he will. I know when family's coming over, even if they don't tell me, because at like 2 p.m. he'll have a martini in his hand. I'll be like, oh, who are we seeing today? Is Lukaku coming by? You know what I mean?
So they still live out in New Jersey?
They live in New Jersey, in Princeton still, yeah. And, yeah. I haven't lived with them for over a year. After my mom kicked me out, I pretty much went straight to the detox, rehab, and then sober living. So I haven't lived with them since September of last year. So it's been like a month and a half, or a year and a half by now.
Well, that's a good thing maybe for you, though.
It is a good thing.
Get away from home, get away from... and they still love you. You still talk to them.
I still talk to them. I talk to my mom every week.
Yeah, your mom probably wants you back.
Yeah. No, she doesn't.
She doesn't. Oh, she's sick of you. Yeah, okay.
I remember when I first moved into the sober house, I was like, Mom, can I come home? And she's like, no. No.
Good.
You're staying there.
Good. She knows it's good for you.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy I moved out. It's pretty exhausting. There's also a lot of anxiety like that comes with like drinking when you're not supposed to, and like smoking weed when you gotta like on your tippy toes, which I don't.
Yeah, when I was 14, I will never forget trying to drink on my like illegally and not getting caught, and I got caught every time.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah. It's also it was also nice moving out because my dad has dementia, and I have a lot of jokes about that if you want to hear.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, my grandma had Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, rough.
Yeah.
But what'd you say? You have jokes about them?
I do have jokes about them.
I mean, I want to hear them, but like on a stage. Are you still doing stand up?
I am still doing stand-up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Where's your house at? Is it near?
It's in Westchester. It's a minute away. It's like a 50-minute drive away. It's an hour and 40 minutes on the bus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where's Westchester at?
Westchester is like right on the edge of Culver City.
Oh, out west.
Yeah, out west.
Okay, you're
It's
all
in the west
oceaned
of
up.
Yeah, it's not that. It's like, I don't know. It depends on traffic, but it's like.
Isn't it like El
between-
Segundo, like around there?
Yeah, it's around there. It's like near Manhattan Beach. That's the closest beach. If there's traffic, Venice Beach is like. Maybe not. What's the other one? Not Venice.
Santa Monica. There's
No,
Manhattan.
it is
There's
Venice.
Redondo. There's
It is Venice. Venice is like 15 minutes away.
yeah,
Like with
just
no
north.
traffic.
So you're
whatsoever.
south of the airport. Venice is like north of the
Yeah,
airport.
south of the. I'm right by the airport. I have a balcony, and I can see the planes come in every night. It's funny because like when I first got here, I didn't know the orientation of LA, so like I'm looking at LAX and we can see all the lights, and I'm like, that must be downtown LA. I'm like, that's got to be it. I don't know. I thought that for like a month. Like when my roommate came, like I was like, look at that, no greater view, downtown LA, baby. And he looked at me and he was like, yeah, no, for sure. And he's like, I didn't have the heart to tell you that that's LAX. I could see the planes coming in. Like I could see them land. Like I don't know why I thought that it was downtown LA.
I mean, it is nicer than downtown LA.
For sure. I haven't actually been to downtown LA. I've
Oh,
been here.
God. you
I've been here
don't
like
need
6 months. I haven't seen downtown.
Place
LA.
is a joke.
Yeah.
It is a straight up joke. Imagine that lady that walked in a Wawa that gave you a couch. Imagine all of them living on in tents, on the sidewalk, everywhere. Like downtown in most places is nice.
Yeah.
Not here.
But yeah.
Downtown LA is hell.
Yeah, it's interesting because, all right, so I was talking to my friend. I was like, my friend is half Chinese, half Japanese, and he's lived in China for a long time. And he's like, I'm like, you should slide through. We can go to downtown LA and fuck around. He's like, I don't know, man. Last time I was in downtown LA, I saw a guy get stabbed. And I was like, that's the fun part of it. And he's like, this place can be a little overwhelming for an immigrant. I'm like, first of all, bro, you're barely an immigrant, okay? Like, you speak perfect English. You love fucking, like, rap and basketball. And you hate communists, okay? Like, those are all the most American things you can do.
Yeah, why isn't he here?
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm like, also, you're from China, dude. Like, the police there are like, do you remember when, like, fucking China, like, took over Hong Kong and, the police there? What do you mean overwhelming, bro? Like,
Right? I was in China. When I was in college, we took a trip to China. And, yeah, Hong Kong was the first place we went. And I mean, it was, I don't know, China seemed fine to me. But we didn't, I don't know. Everybody thought we were celebrities. Because it was me, a blonde white chick, like a Greek chick who was smoking hot, brown hair, like white,
as Greeks usually
and then,
are.
yeah, smoke show. And then we had a black chick who they were enamored by. Like
Yeah, of
they've
course they
never
were, bro.
they've never seen a black person in their life before.
Of course they
like
were, bro.
they're on street corners like look.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Let me tell you something, bro. When I was in boarding school, it was like mostly white. And then the rest was like Asian, and then there were like 5% other. Like I'm Indian, so I fit in with the Asian technically, but really I fit in with the other, bro. Because if you talk to any person who's Asian, they're gonna be like, no, Indians are not real Asians. And
Yeah,
like the
just
Chinese
because
people
of-
there are like just as racist as the white people there.
Oh,
Just
sure,
as
of course.
racist, bro. It's crazy, but yeah, no. And then like. They don't like Indians. Did you know that? Like in Cantonese and Mandarin, they have their own specific slur for Indians. Which,
Really?
yeah, it kind of makes me proud. I'm not gonna lie. Like the slur is so. What I've heard, I don't speak either of these languages. I've heard in Mandarin it's asan, and in Cantonese it's achan, and it means like hand eaters. And I was like, fuck yeah, like I like that, bro.
I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's not a like a but like, you know, like the phrase, the racist slurs here for Indians like are derived from other racist slurs for black people.
Yeah,
You
true.
know, Curry-
100% true. Yeah.
Curry N-word.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say any of them. I'll let you.
Curry
go.
Monkey. We got Dune Coon. They all come from like. It makes me proud that we have our own. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's got to be nice.
It is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not offended by it.
I mean, you can't because that's why. I mean, that's why you're a comedian, because you everything, it's funny. You got to look at the funny side of everything.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be you're just gonna be in the lurch all the time.
Dude, I was doing okay, so I was doing stand up at the club that we usually go to, and there's this dude who does improv for we have an improv course to get us out of our heads. I hate it. They're not good comedians. Okay, I hate it, bro.
Honestly, I love improv, but no, keep going.
And
I love good improv.
No,
That's
okay,
the
they're not
difference.
good.
Yeah.
They're not good improvisers. Improvisers. They're just not funny people. I carry the whole course, honestly, on my back. And he's at Badgers and Jam doing a set, and I go on before him, and I start telling a joke, and then he walks out mid-set, and I see him. I'm like, I got, what the fuck, man? And he's like, oh, nice to see you too. I'm like, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Wait, he walked out mid-year set?
Mid-set, bro.
Why?
It was because it was the joke about, do you want to tell the joke?
Say it.
The joke is, so I live in a sober house, and I share a room with 4 people, and there are no locks on the doors because we're all dope fiends and crackheads, right? So the door's shut, and I go to knock on it, and, there's no answer. So I open the door, and my roommate has OD'd on the floor. And this is immediately upsetting, not because he OD'd, but because I was going in there to beat off, and I was like, now I got to deal with this. So I'm doing a quick calculation, crunching the numbers, how long it takes me to beat off versus how long someone has to be Narcan before they die. And I'm looking for 3 minutes at the very most, 2 with the dead body in the room. And, I do my thing first, and then I Narcan him, and he wakes up, and he's all confused, and he's like, what's this all over my face? And I'm like, don't worry about it.
It's Narcan.
It's Narcan, bro. So I guess you could say the story had a happy ending.
Okay, that's a hilarious show.
Yeah, but he walked out in the middle of that joke, and I was like, I told him you weren't fucking with the joke. He's like, no, I didn't really think that was appropriate. I also I work at a drug and alcohol treatment center. Dude, I go to a drug and alcohol treatment center. I'm the one that should be making these jokes.
Yeah, if you're offended by anything, you shouldn't go to comedy. You shouldn't be a comedian.
No.
If things will offend, if things that you hold dear to yourself will, if someone makes fun of them, offend you, then comedy's not your thing.
But there are also I agree with that wholeheartedly, but there is also a very fine line between being funny and clever about your racism, just going up on stage, going up on stage and just being racist about.
Well, yes.
And the last time I was doing stand up, there were 2 dudes, right? 2 white dudes, obviously. And one of them is fuck Indians, man. And I'm like, and then he's like, but also fuck Persians. And, he's pointed at me. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? There's no punchline. There's not a joke. It's just, I was more offended at the lack of comedy than I was at the racism. You know what I mean? If you're going to go up there and do racism, you got to be fucking funny about it, man.
100%.
You can't miss because then it's just racism. You know what I mean? And then this other dude was like, I got a joke about a smelly Indian roommate, but I'm not going to tell it. And I'm like, good. You're not the comedian to pull that off, fucking Brad.
Yeah, I mean, if he could have pulled it off, he would have, but he can't.
Yeah. They shouldn't. It's just
there's a way to do, there's a finesse to it.
There is a finesse. There's a little, you gotta be clever about it, But even if you're not, I'm more offended about not being clever than I am about the racism. I can deal with racism. I've dealt with it for a long time.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's going to be out. It's out in the world, and it's there. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But in the comedy room, just be funny about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be if you make it funny, it'll be funny.
I also heard Louis C.K. say that when someone ignorant takes the mic and they start telling jokes about a race or a religion that they really are not familiar with, it sparks conversation, you know what I mean? And it's the people they're making jokes about are like, wow, that's what you really think of us, you know? Like, it's also giving a platform to someone who doesn't know anything about it, and that can spark further dialogue, and they can learn more about it.
True, yeah.
You know, there was a lot of Ask the Brown Man when I was in high school, dude. Like a lot.
Really?
Yeah, there was a lot of. Let me ask Dev about it. And sometimes.
Well, you're in boarding. You're with like only it's you and then every other white kid.
Yeah,
right.
I was one of 2 Indian dudes in my grade, and we had 2 Indian girls. And then sophomore year, we didn't have any black dudes. I was the darkest person in our grade.
Wow.
Yeah. And I got all the black jokes too, and I'm like, I'm not even.
That doesn't even work.
It's not working, guys.
Well, those are kids that are not going to grow up being comedians.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of them
they're
were really
going to work
funny.
for their dad's hedge fund.
For real, honestly. But yeah.
But okay, so you went into comedy because you're like, I got to just start talking.
Yeah, I went into comedy because it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've been a fan of comedy for a long time, and I just went into it because people are like, you should be funny. You're funny. You should be a comedian. So I took that and I really just ran with it. And, you know, I have a bunch of bits. When you're on restriction and you have nothing to do.
You are hilarious. Like, you are hilarious. First time I saw you, I think it was, did you say it was your first mic that you went to?
No, it was my 5th mic that I went to.
5th? Okay, yeah. I knew you were new when I saw you. I was like, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah, thank you. Because I spent, like, you know, and also, like, when you're, like, drinking and stuff, you don't have time for hobbies and shit, you know? Like, there's the only room for drinking when you're drinking.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just forgot what it was like to have a hobby. So I got, like, really excited about it, you know? Which is a whole nother thing. Like, I'm rediscovering, like, my love for, like, comedy and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
Which is really cool. But that's what, like, got me started. And, you know, it's funny. Like, I told my dad about it. My dad about it, and he laughed the hardest I've ever heard him laugh in my fucking life.
Really? Good.
I was like, Dad, I want to be a comedian. And he couldn't control himself, and he's like, with those jokes, son, maybe you should be. Now get a fucking job. And I was like, I'm working on it, Dad. Like, this stand-up thing. He's like, oh, you're making money. And I'm like, no, I'm paying people so I can tell them jokes. It's like, I should have never left India.
I mean, one day he is going to be pumped, though.
When I start making money.
Because you will. Like, if you're dedicated and you're good, like, you're funny. If you're just naturally funny, you got it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate that. But I was also in
We got to get your buddy to keep going.
Yeah. I was also in school for engineering for 2 years, so he was...
That's the most Indian thing about you.
It is. It's actually funny. Like, so I have 2 cousins, right? And they're both women and they're both Indian and they live in Phoenix and they're sisters. And one of them is an ER doctor and the other is an electrical engineer, right? And, you know, during their free time, they're part of this program where they go to inner city schools and they talk about, like, try and get young girls encourage them to do STEM and, like, medicine. And I was like, that's so cool. I wish I could do that with my demographic of people and just inspire them to get involved in engineering. And then I was like, fuck, dude, I'm an Indian guy. Like, no one is telling us that we can't do either of those things, man. People act like it's our only fucking option. Like, I'll give you an example, a real life example. This fucking happened to me. All right, so I go to a party when I was still in college with my white friends, right? And, like, this is going to surprise you, but I don't have a lot of riz. Like, I'm not really good with girls. So I was talking to my white friends. I'm like, how do I like initiate, like, get them to start liking me? And they're like, bro, tell them you're in engineering. They're going to be like, you're so smart. Like, I could never do that. That's so amazing. So, like, you know, I'm scrolling through, like, the weather app on my phone, like, passively overhearing them, like, talk to girls. And the response is, like, incredible when they tell them they're in engineering. So that gassed me up. I'm like, I got this. I go up to this girl, right? And we start talking and we get to the question. And I'm like, what's your major? And, you know, she's a white girl with purple hair and a septum piercing. So something stupid like philosophy or like literature or something like that. And there's dead silence after she tells me. I'm waiting for her to ask me what my major is. And nothing. So I'm like, well, I'm in mechanical engineering and I want to either switch to electrical or computer science. She's like, yeah, no, I got it. And I was like, what do you mean you got it? she's like, she's just like gesturing to me.
God, I hate her.
She's like, well, we don't have pre-med, and I had 3 guesses, and you just listed all of the guesses.
I hate her.
No, I wanted to be offended, but I was like, hey, that's like really accurate, actually. That's just good observation. Like,
I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah,
but
she's not wrong.
I hate. You got to ask what.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. But like, I actually like that she didn't guess.
You
one,
do?
You know? I mean,
That she
like,
already guessed it for herself.
It made me kind of proud. Like, people see us as engineers and as doctors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You guys got a good stereotype.
We do have a good stereotype.
Doctors, pharmacists, only, and every engineer, like,
yeah, for sure.
if they're not Indian,
Physicist,
I'm shocked.
yeah, right. It's like, oh damn. And if they're not Indian and they're an engineer, they work with a lot of fucking Indians. You know what I mean?
The Indians are their boss.
Yeah. No, it definitely makes me proud, and I'm like, I am a minority, but I've got a very positive stereotype. It's way easier for me than it is for other races. You know what
that
I mean?
rules.
Yeah, no, it's for sure. It's like, it's privilege. But yeah.
What? Hold on, I had a good question. I lost it when you said it. It's privilege.
My dad was also an engineer, so that kind of pushed me into engineering.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, obviously.
What's your mom do?
My mom worked in HR. Neither of my parents work right now because my dad is 81, so he's retired.
Your dad's 81 years old?
Well, he has, yeah.
This guy lays pipe.
For real, dude. He has 6 kids, right?
You're the youngest?
No, I'm the 4th youngest of my dad's kids, 2nd youngest of my mom's, 4th youngest of my dad's, 2nd youngest of my mom's.
How many siblings you got?
I got 5. I got 2 half siblings.
No, I mean, that's what I'm like, yeah. So 5
all together.
Okay.
And then 3 full siblings. So,
damn.
And my dad was married to an Indian first, and then he married a white lady, and after he moved to America, and that's the American dream right there. Like, you come with a family, you get divorced from your Indian wife, and then you marry a white woman. Like, is this not the land of opportunity?
And live on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah. No, we were never shore people. I take offense to that.
Oh, you don't watch that show?
I do watch that. I've seen clips of that show, but first of all, that show gives a bad rap to New Jersey because it makes us seem like we're all fucking Guidos and shit.
That
when
is
really
true.
There's a large population. Like, I'll give you some statistics here. New Jersey, Middlesex County, the county I was born in, has literally more Indians than any other county in the United States.
Wow, really?
Monroe Township of New Jersey has the fastest growing rate of Indians in, like, the Western Hemisphere, bro. But we're not, like, a loud people. Like, we don't make a lot of noise. So, like, we get overlooked a lot. But there are a lot of Indians in New Jersey, bro.
Well, that's why Indians rule.
We are a rule, bro. Like,
you guys rule. Like, yeah, no, nobody. Every time that I've, like, that an Indian has spoken up, I've only agreed with them.
Yeah.
Like,
it also doesn't matter where you go in the world. There's going to be at least, like, a bunch of Indians there, bro. There's going to be one area where all the Indians live.
Well, yeah, you guys take over. That's great, though.
We do, yeah. We fucking come in like cockroaches and we take over.
Yeah, but you take over smartly.
Yeah, we're very intellectual like that. Well, the ones...
And you're personal. Indian people are very personal. Like, why do you think that crackhead got so along with you in the Wawa?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, because you were just you listened and actively listened and replied.
Yeah, I did.
And she was.
I got along with a lot of other people there too. There was a group of kids I used to sell cigarettes to.
All on the cigarettes. Huh?
No, I didn't give them the cigarettes because they were kids. You know, like, you gotta pay for them if you're a kid.
Yeah.
But I found out they were way younger than I thought they were. There was this group of, like, 3 or 4, like, kids that would come in, and one time, like, the first time, he was like, how much is a Marlboro? And I was like, which one? And he's like, fuck it, try these, $10.99. And I gave him some Marlboro Golds, and I got them on Newports after. They liked the Newports. Okay. And then, like, they came in one night, and I'm like, hey, how old are you guys? Sophomore, junior? And he was like 7th grade, and I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Oh,
I was like, "Oh shit, bro!"
7th grade.
Yeah, I thought I was just giving cigarettes to like 6. I remember being 16 and being like, "I fucking want a cigarette." So I'll do. I was like, "I'll do these kids a solid."
Yeah, it was so well. It was so hard. Well, I didn't smoke then, but I chewed tobacco. But it was hard to find a gas station that didn't ID you.
Yeah.
Because when you're in high school, you think you look older, but then
you get out of high school.
To everybody else, you look like you're in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking definitely. I don't regret it though.
Actually, the guy that sold me, the guy at the BP that sold me, that was the go-to for chewing tobacco. His name was Mukhtar.
That's a fucking
Indian guy. Indian guy, yeah. And he ruled.
They always, some of them don't.
He was the best.
Yeah, you know.
Oh no, but the other, there were like 3 gas stations in a row. He was the middle one, and then the other 2 were both older indie guys, and they were like, "Get out of here! Get out of my gas station!" They
Get
like
out
scream
of my
at
gas
you.
station.
Yo, yeah, they
Get
scream
out
at
of
you.
my gas
They're
station.
so mad because like they think you're a cop.
Yeah.
Because like they have like the sting operations where they send in younger people to go, and if they sell it, then they get in trouble.
Well, I worked
So it's like-
the 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift, so I know that there were no fucking cops.
So you got the crazies.
Yeah,
shift.
I got the crazy shift, bro.
All the crazies. Every drug addict.
Yeah, there were a lot of like, and it's right by Rutgers University, so there were a lot of like drunk college students that would come in, and then it was during the summer too. Like I started working like end of school year during the summer, so a lot of drunk high schoolers would come in, and they all knew that I'm not that guy who carts. Like I'm not that guy, you know. So I just gave out, like, not gave out, but I just sold a bunch of cigarettes to frankly, I'm doing Wawa a service, honestly. You guys made so much money off me selling cigarettes to minors.
Also, how come Wawa's not national? It's a great store.
It is a great store. But yeah. You had a question you want to ask? Did you remember?
I know. I already it lost my mind. Are you ready for a cig?
I'm ready for a cig.
I know. I could tell. You slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. No, I'm ready.
And we're back. And we picked up another Indian guy along the way. Everybody welcome Sheel Mehta. Woo!
Hey, what's up? Welcome.
Okay, yeah. So Sheel is another comedian, bona fide hilarious. He doesn't think he
I
doesn't think he is.
I can tell already from the interactions we've had.
And so Deb, I was hosting one night. I was subbing because you know when I host, it's packed, jam packed. There's no slots left. But I was subbing at one night, and he was the only guy that showed up. So I made him go up on stage, and he
made him do the same
absolutely
thing.
hilarious.
He's
He's sober. He's got a lot, and he's from the East Coast too.
Okay.
Yeah, where are you from?
I'm from outside of D.C., Northern Virginia area on the D.C.
Like Arlington?
Yeah, Alexandria, Arlington area, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm from New Jersey, but I went to school at GW, George Washington University.
I got my fuck. This isn't funny at all. Who gives a fuck?
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I dated a girl at GW, and she had a lot of money, and it was the best time of my life. But
was she white?
She was brown, and then I did another school in D.C., and then I got into the white chicks, Tom, and that's where life went downhill.
The sinker. That's the sinker of chicks.
Yeah,
it's funny because every time I see an Indian guy with a white girl, I'm like, my boy, like, good,
Really?
good for you. And then every time I see an Indian girl with a white guy, I'm like, man, someone's got to tell her family, bro. Someone's got to let them know, dude. That shit ain't allowed.
I wonder when Indian people are gonna switch from like how black women get really mad at black men when they like start dating a white chick.
Oh yeah, they.
I wonder
hate
when
that.
the brown people are gonna switch into that. Fuck that shit. Right now we're really appreciative. We're like clapping for them as they walk by. Shaking their hand. It's tough getting a white girl when you're 7.5, 5'8", wearing your lifts. And
I was gonna say, I thought you were like 5'8".
I'm 5'8" on a good day,
On a lift day. Well, I mean, his dad is like the most Indian guy you've ever heard about.
I mean, all of our dads are the most Indian guys you ever heard about.
True.
This is evolution right here.
He's got a white mom though.
I do have a white mom.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get. You guys already talked about that though.
Yeah,
probably.
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So he had some stuff to say. Like he was pumped that you were coming.
How'd they
was,
meet?
yeah.
How'd they meet?
So my dad worked, I know this is going to surprise you. My dad worked as an engineer at Exxon.
Right.
And my
Oh,
mom
wow.
worked in HR. And the first time they met, they got into like a big argument. And
Nice.
my mom was like, first time I ever met your dad, I thought he was a huge dick.
Yeah.
And then they just started working together. And, my dad was married to an Indian when he met my mom.
Okay.
So that's the American dream for you right there.
Damn, see, this is the guy that should be a comedian, not the rest of us fucking brown guys leaving our fucking good jobs. Damn, that's awesome. That's a good origin story.
Yeah, I was also in school for engineering for 2 years.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
So
see,
that's
this is
very
all of us.
Super Indian. Yeah.
It's-
you were in engineering school?
What?
You went to engineering school?
No, but I got a master's
Oh.
degree, and I have debt, and I'm brown as fuck. But we've pivoted to being degenerates, and I like it, and it's more fun, and it's less pressure, and fuck our parents.
Well, I mean,
easy.
and being a comedian, if you could see the funny side of everything, like he's an addict. He's in halfway house, whatever they're called. I don't know.
Sober house.
Sober house.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
so us
That's
drinking
nice.
Bud Lights in front of him is like very tempting, but he's so good.
Are you all right with this? This is cool.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
all right.
I checked beforehand.
All right.
And he's good.
Nice.
Disclaimer: I'm not drinking. I'm drinking an oat milk latte. Hunter.
I know.
Hunter is my house manager.
Yeah.
This is an oat milk latte, bro.
I got this from
All right.
Sprouts. It's got ashwagandha in it.
It's
and it
ashwag-
makes you. Yeah, it's like
healthy.
No, I thought you were going to say something. Osh. Anytime I hear Osh, I'm just expecting a wits, and you said Waganda.
Oh no, ashwagandha. But it is always an
Ashwagandha.
There's always an ashwagandha.
The people at Auschwitz should have taken ashwagandha.
It would have helped with the anxiety.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, anything would have helped with that anxiety. But that's crazy, man. That's congratulations. We probably are all addicts, in some ways.
Oh no, I definitely am. I
Yeah.
just haven't. I haven't
You
gone
guys
to a
are
sober
drinking-
house yet.
Drinking beer
Yeah.
at 2 p.m.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't gonna drink. This motherfucker just called me, and I was shaving my back in my underwear, and I just,
sure, bro.
Okay, in my defense, he called me back. He didn't answer, and then he was like, "Hey, what's up? Sorry, I was shaving my back."
Who the fuck doesn't call back?
A lot of people.
All right. Well, I'm not that person.
But no, yeah, I met him at the old B&J.
Okay. All right. That's good. I haven't been to the old B&J in quite some time. I feel like fucking, our level of the comedy scene, it requires some level of rotation. You know what I mean? Like
You have to, yeah.
After seeing your fucking dumbass, your face at every mic, you just stop trying.
Yeah.
You just want to say the most ridiculous stuff to get Tom to kind of chuckle, and none of that is, replicable in front of a normal audience.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, that's you get into the same groove. You go to the same mics over and
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over again because you feel safe there. And so I've just been branching out. I've
Yeah.
been doing a bunch of different ones.
You got to cycle off like creatine,
Got
and come back,
Exactly.
and get swole again.
100%.
Yeah.
I like the BJ. I wanted to go to Deaf Noodles, but like, Deaf Noodles is like if you're an Asian or if you're an alcoholic, you drink for free. First drink's free, and I'm both of those things.
Mm.
So it'd be
So
really
you get 2 drinks
be big danger for me to go there, honestly.
Yeah. It's a good spot. I mean, yeah, because it's free and it's
Yeah.
really popular
That's
now.
a new
and
place on Sunset, right?
It's a
right
new
by
place on
Guitar
Sunset.
Center.
Yeah. And the guy that runs it, he's I think like an ex-YouTuber of some sort. I don't know much about him, and then he bought this place. So he's running a tight ship. It's pretty cool,
Nice.
He's not being a detriment to the the scene, which is great. And yeah, it's a little wild over there in a good way, It's
Well, this area rules for stand-up, honestly.
yeah, it does.
Like the new place. There's another new place. No Bad Mics is
Yeah.
what I've been told
Yep.
about.
Yeah, those are
Anderson
good guys.
told me- Yeah, I've never been yet.
Have you guys heard of the Crow? I
The
think it's-
Crow. Where's that at?
Crow. I don't know where it's at, but believe it or not, I met another stand-up comedian at an AA meeting, and she was talking about like, she gave me a list of like open mics, and it's like the Crow. You do like 3 minutes. I think it's called the Crow. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's like you do 3 minutes, and if they like you, you come back and you do 10 minutes.
Mm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
Yeah, but it's pretty far from where I am, and like to go to the Badger and Jam is like a hike, bro. It's an hour and a half on the bus.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I got to take 2 buses because I don't have a car. And
Yeah.
I used to just get my friend to drive me, but he's like being a bitch because gas costs so much money. It's like
Right.
you can't.
He's got to get back into stand-up. He's funny.
He is fun.
He is a funny guy. I saw him. I made him go up at the mic that I saw Dev at.
All right.
And no, he's a funny guy. He was.
Yeah.
He did a good 5 minutes. He did more than 5 minutes when he went up.
He did like 10 minutes when
Yeah.
he went up. Yeah.
I mean, we had a whole hour.
I see,
We had
I
a whole
see.
hour to kill. So
That's
that was,
great.
I
don't have 10
you
minutes.
But you guys didn't stop. Like you guys never came to a lull. Like I could have been like, okay, good job. But you
Kept going.
You guys could have kept going for
Good.
another 10 minutes.
Yeah,
You
that's
went for like 20.
I went for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and-
Wow.
Oh, but he's got so many stories.
Yeah.
But everything is so honest, and that's the best part.
That's nice. That's nice.
I run an honest program.
Yeah.
That's what they say in AA. You got to run an honest program. So
and that's what the funniest stuff is. When people try to make stuff up, I feel like when they do. You when someone makes up a joke, you know that it's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a certain. You could look at a person and you either accept it or you don't, and it's really hard for people to accept it at our level. I feel like
some of my jokes are just jokes. Like the one about the roommate beating off. That one's just obviously a joke, bro. That's obviously
bona fide hilarious.
Yeah, obviously not a real thing that happened.
your roommate doesn't beat off.
No, so
Now you can say it again. Go ahead.
all right. The joke was, so I live in a sober house and I share a room with 4 people.
Yeah.
There are no locks in the house because we're all dope fiends and crackheads. And so I go to knock on the bathroom door, right? And there's no locks. I knock, there's no answer. I go in, and my roommate is OD'd on the floor.
Jeez.
And this is obviously upsetting to me, not because he OD'd, but because I was going in there to beat off. And I was like, now I got to deal with this. So I'm crunching the numbers and doing like a quick calculation of how long someone has to be Narcan before they die.
Yeah.
And how long it would take me to beat off.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm looking for 3 minutes tops, 2 with the dead body in the room. So I do my thing first, and then I Narcan him, and he wakes up, he's all confused. He's like, what's this all over my face? And I'm like, it's Narcan, dude. Don't worry about it.
That's awesome. That's great. That's really funny.
Thank you. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's the tough thing about. I write. I probably have stories, but I like jokes, and so it's hard to like be honest and be funny for me personally. I can be honest for like a couple of lines, but then I like to throw in some sort of joke. You know what I mean? I can't write honest shit like that. It's great. I love watching it. I love watching shit like that. People who do act outs or have these ridiculous stories that are so funny. It's my favorite. You know?
I've got ridiculous stories, but then I'll try to put a joke in, and that's the part that stinks.
Right. So it's all dependent on how people look at you.
I'll just tell the story, and that crushes. But then I'll try to put in like some stupid joke, and that is like, why did
See,
you
sometimes I in the moment, I say things or do things just for the story, so I can say that I did it.
Right.
Like an example would be, we had like a house barbecue, right? Like for our house meeting, we have a house meeting every week. One day we had a barbecue, and me and my roommate were like, how funny would it be if we brought non-alcoholic beer to the sober barbecue? Right? So we pull up with the non-alcoholic beer, and like, if you ever want to see people run, bring beer to a barbecue of like people fresh out of like detox, bro, because they will run to it, dude. So like I get there, and my house manager's like, what the fuck? Why did you bring beer to this barbecue? And I was like, shit, man, you can't have a barbecue without beer. He's like, this is a sober house. I'm like, it was muscle memory at this point, dude. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But NA beer, isn't that okay?
No, because there's
really? It's that strict, huh?
Two reasons. It could trigger people, which I don't really necessarily agree with, because if you're gonna get triggered, the place to be triggered is in a sober house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And number 2, there's a very small amount of, they can't get rid of all the alcohol. There's a small amount of alcohol, and you will pop dirty for alcohol.
So then what's the point of non-alcoholic beer?
It doesn't get you drunk, but it's not.
I know. Well, okay, but I mean, if you can't bring it to a sober house, then why does it even exist?
Yeah, that's true.
There's some iBanker out there on like a Tuesday night who needs to fucking, feel life a little bit.
Pretend like they're
drinking.
I never saw the point in non-alcoholic beer. It's like decaf coffee. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You
know
what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right?
If you take a thing that's only good, like for like getting drunk, and you remove the getting drunk, you just have a thing that's not good.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like,
is there going to be like masturbate? Like, can we just come at some point without having any of the dirty thoughts? You know?
Yeah.
Like, is that going to be even necessary? That's it's pointless to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. I like, at least with Zin and other things like that, there's something kind of mimicking the effect, but unless you have some like, I don't know. Unless you're really fucked up and you can drink a Heineken, 0.0 and feel something, it's not going to be worth it.
I just feel like I feel like it's just you feel included, like you're at a party and everybody's drinking,
Totally.
and you're like, okay, I'm gonna have an O'Doul's, because you have a beer, but like not really,
right?
But Zin, I think is like, they're brilliant because they're making you. I feel like they're making you more addicted to nicotine than you would be like with normal cigarettes.
There are American Zins, but then they're like, my brother was doing a semester abroad in Geneva, and the Zin, no, not Zins, but the whatever you call them, the smokeless tobacco, the pouches.
Yeah.
There are like so much. Like you can only get 6 milligrams in the U.S. They give you like 18 to 24 milligrams out there. So they're like,
so they're just getting you hooked.
They're getting you hooked on nicotine. I wanted to try one, but I didn't end up getting to go.
I've done it. I went fucking crazy. I went nuts.
On Zin?
Yeah, it jacked me up so much. I'm not. My body just hasn't ever really touched that sort of shit. And I've never smoked cigarettes like that. I'll only do it when I'm drinking.
I told him earlier. So I started out dipping.
Okay.
Because, I played sports, like baseball. Like, you got to dip.
Okay.
And then once I stopped playing sports, like I started doing theater, and everybody smokes. So
Okay.
I'm starting to smoke cigarettes.
That'd be funny if you were doing Macbeth with a little bit,
Well, yeah.
You got a little cup on stage.
Little lip in there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't want to smoke anymore. So I started vaping, and vaping has more nicotine than cigarettes in it. So I was like, well, this is horrible. And then I tried quitting with Zyn, and I was like, well, now I'm just going to get addicted to
another
Zyn.
level. I feel like shit
I have
is now
kicked it, by the way.
That's great.
I've kicked all of it.
That's amazing. I think it's a big feat to kick anything these
so
days.
hard.
I think all this stuff is just preying on just the ability to sit. So it's not even like Zen is probably something that's like addictive in that way, but like most people can't just be.
I can't.
You
stop
gotta
smoking.
shove shit in your face. You gotta feel something.
It's like
not
you
this.
gotta do something. It's like an activity to do.
Yeah,
it's
sometimes I'm jerking like for no reason. I just got time, you know.
Like, what am I gonna do? Watch this movie or?
That used to be me while I was drinking. Like it happens with a lot of people who are like addicted to things. It's like boredom is like a huge trigger for them.
Right.
Like, they get bored and they're like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? I can't get high, and then some of them end up getting high just because they were bored and then like.
Yeah. I'm this close to popping a Blue Chew right now, just to fucking get my heart pumping.
Hey, by the way, Blue Chew, please sponsor us.
Yeah, sponsor us. Give me a heart attack, you know what I mean? So you hear about that guy who went on fucking, he took a Viagra and then he went on a plane. And his heart rate got so crazy that I think he died on the plane.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
What a way to go, dude.
I can only imagine that, like, there's so many dudes that got to be flying to meet chicks that are just like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a pregame. I'm going to board United.
Wow.
I'm going to sit down in, like, 15, be in the middle of a mom, and her husband that didn't get the tickets on time and fucking eat a Blue Chew.
That's why that door blew out, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Someone got an erection and it just pushed the wrong button.
Boeing is really dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Speaking of flying planes, because I'm from Chicago. Like now, if I see that I'm flying on a Boeing jet, I'm skeptical of it.
Who knew Greyhound would be the thing that won out at the end of the day?
Honest to God.
Yeah, I know.
Well, like those Malaysian planes, I was like, that's Malaysia. Like, of course they're gonna crash. But now it's happening here. Like, okay, Boeing, let's
okay, this is America.
Let's figure
get
this
our
out,
shit together.
Yeah, we need some of those Malaysians to come over here and look at all those screws. That's the problem with white people. They just want to manage. They don't want to screw the screws in.
100%.
Yeah, that's probably we got to send some white people to Malaysian Airlines to run the corporate office, and we got to bring Malaysians, to run. The operations.
I don't think that they've ever found that plane. By the way,
they never did. They never found
it. It just went down in the wherever.
No,
or if it did, I thought I love conspiracy theories.
It was Crisis Act.
I thought they couldn't even act. They had crisis nobodies. Yeah.
Nah.
I love conspiracy theories, and I haven't even heard this anywhere on any website. But I thought I was like, maybe somebody's like harvesting planes to do something with. I know that I've heard that they found like a flapper or whatever there, but like, it's creepy when a plane disappears. Like, I feel like there's a lot of things that have to happen where a plane, like the black box, there's no black box, there's no, like, all the signals just go down.
Yeah,
like, that's insane.
Yeah, but also, you know how big the ocean is, bro? The ocean's pretty fucking big, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's not that hard to get lost in there.
Well, I know, but I mean, we put so many trackers on it, and like. There's, I feel like there's so many things.
A lot of things have to happen for a plane to be like
just completely disappear.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you got two brown people here. Have you ever flown Air India by any chance?
Have I ever flown Air
Dude, these airplanes are from the fucking 70s, bro. Like, I'm not kidding. They don't even have. I don't even know what to like. They still have the ashtrays in the fucking.
I was just gonna say,
really?
Yes. They just welded it shut, and they're like, sometimes they weld them shut, sometimes they don't.
Dude,
but like
when you land in India, like I'm assuming that when you go somewhere international, they make you sign the shit. You're not bringing fruit. You're not bringing any bugs over. These brown people will walk down the aisle as you're landing with like a spray, two canisters of spray, and just walk down the aisle and just spray that shit in the air. Just up and down for like 5 minutes. That's how gangster this is. So think about Malaysian Airlines.
Like sanitizer spray or something?
I don't know, but like again, you don't see. I'd rather the door blow off the airplane than see that. If that's what's happening, I'm like, I got AIDS or something, at this point. But
it is crazy. Nobody got hurt on that.
No,
which is insane. Can you imagine being the guy sitting right? Yeah, what if they weren't belted?
The kid's shirt got fucking ripped off. Yeah,
the guy's phone got
even
whipped out,
even
and
if
it
the
lived.
seatbelts weren't on, it's because
his phone was okay.
Ugh,
they have designed
right?
airplanes so that like the pressure on the inside is equal to the pressure on the outside, so that if the like in movies it's like if the window blows off, like everything gets sucked out of that window. The engineers designed it so that that's not the case. The pressure on the inside is equal to pressure on the outside, so you just keep flying. Like that's why they pressurize the cabin so that it's equal to that on the outside.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe there's like a Jeffrey Epstein Island where like Amelia Earhart's plane is there, and like some rich guys just collecting fucking weird airplanes that have disappeared.
Honestly, that's what I thought. Like
I don't know,
somebody harvesting planes, because it's so. You feel like. Because you don't think about it when you're doing it, but like when you're flying, you're the most vulnerable you'll ever really be.
Right.
You just like if something happens, what are you gonna do?
But that's why I find the most like peace on an airplane. I'm like disconnected. I got a beer or two in me, and I'm just like, let me die.
I do like flying. Like a lot of people, they get scared because of the turbulence. I don't get scared.
I get scared, but I'm loaded. So
I got scared once. I flew from LAX. My buddy got married at Mammoth Mountain.
Where the fuck is that?
It's like a 6-hour drive, like northwest of here.
Okay.
So, but it's like an hour flight. So I get on this plane. It's an Alaska Airlines flight, and it was like a Wright Brothers original. Like they were propellers. I didn't know that we still used propeller planes.
Yeah, I've been on one of those before.
I've been on one of them too.
I remember was it in India?
No, I was flying from the East Coast to Toronto, because that's also where all of us have congregated, and it was one of the propeller ones, and they have an airport in Toronto that's like on an island. So
I remember flying. Yeah,
we touched down and fucking did one of those loop-de-loops because we kept fucking up because the airplane was tiny and it was just getting rocked.
Okay,
so
that's what I was gonna like.
That's what
we were trying to land, and it was like,
I
thought the pilot completely. I was like, well, I'm gonna die. I thought he lost complete control of the plane. Like you get, the feeling you get on a roller coaster.
That's what I hate. It's not that I'm afraid. I just hate that shit. I hate that drop.
I love
the
that
stomach feeling.
Drop.
Yeah,
bro.
Okay, I like it on a roller coaster, not on an airplane.
I love it on an airplane. That used to be my favorite part when I was a kid. Is the little when you're landing, where you're out of your seat a little bit. I'm like, oh, exciting. But I remember flying. We were flying from Calcutta to New Delhi, and we were flying on the propeller plane. And my mom, the white one, was terrified, bro. She was so scared, and my dad was like, "It'll be fine, okay."
That's good enough for a white woman.
And she was like, okay, I guess
you
we're
put a brown mom in there, and she's like, shut the fuck up. You fucked me over. You fucked all of us up. You never did anything.
We're all going to die.
Yeah. And start praying. I don't believe in any other conspiracies, though. Do you believe in any other conspiracies?
I believe the CIA invented crack.
You believe the crack, was introduced to the neighborhoods through the CIA?
Sure.
Okay, all right, okay.
Well, I feel like that's like a fact. I feel like it's like out that they did do that.
I don't know enough about it. I don't know. I don't. I'm not a conspiracy guy per se, but ever since doing comedy, I'm like, I got to have a conspiracy joke.
I don't like.
Everyone talks about.
Also,
it so
I don't
much,
necessarily believe in all of them, but like, a lot of them are like. I mean, this makes a lot more sense than the story. Like a lot of them.
Yeah.
And like the crack thing, I feel like is like a thing that's out. Like they definitely did do that.
So like the CIA says it can find no link between crack and itself, but come on, bro, it's like the detective. It's like someone who murdered someone else heading up the investigation. Like on
exactly.
Like, I don't know. It's like come on.
Well, I thought that was like a thing. I thought everybody knew that they did.
So the CIA was in a kitchen. They're cooking up some crack.
But there's some
white guy with a PhD that got
100%.
Really good at cooking. He's the godfather of crack.
100%.
Not these black guys. Okay, all right. So we should be making
And then-
rap
but
songs
but
about him.
then they were like selling it to black guys
Yeah.
to give to the black community.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Like
Okay.
that's what I think. I mean, the government like just doesn't like black people. Like they just don't like them. You know what I mean? So it would make sense that they're like introducing this way to fill the prison system with them, to get them hooked on something, keep them out of
Yeah.
the school system.
See, I don't know if the reason was we don't like. There was a like I don't know. I gotta like read, but like it's not like we don't like black people, so give them crack. There was like a reason, like it was along those lines, but it wasn't like we hate blacks.
Hey kids,
But
you
no,
like
it was a
little,
R&B?
it was a little
Yeah.
more complicated than that.
Yes,
but you
yeah,
get
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying?
You sick
it was
of
something like
wacky
that.
tobacco?
Something like that. Well, I mean, there's so much more. I feel like that goes into everything. Okay, like like you've heard my.
You're getting real low. There's no black people here. You can talk.
I got a joke about this, but like, okay, like this moon landing that allegedly happened. Like, we've never done anything and just stopped doing it.
You know what's funny about the moon landing? The amount of people who don't believe the moon landing, but then they love Elon Musk. I'm like, it's so contradictory.
No, not really. Okay, but
What do
look
you
at
mean? No, not really. He's flying his goddamn fucking rockets
Okay.
past the moon.
He's not past the moon. He's barely
Going to
in-
Mars.
Well, no, that's the goal. That's his goal.
All right.
But he's flying his rockets. Like that's also where like. So he like this billionaire. He's tossing so much money at barely getting into space.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're barely leaving the atmosphere.
But that's all you need, bro.
But it's also like a private
But we
company. Like it's
landed
not
on-
like NASA. Like
We landed
SpaceX
on
is a privately owned company.
Yeah.
You know? It's not
And he's a
government funded.
him and Bezos. I'm saying like. We landed on the moon in 1969, and we can't just go to the moon now like that. Like,
But you have to understand, when we went to the moon, and now I feel like a fucking, this isn't comedy now at all. Now I'm just trying to back up the government. When we went to the moon, it was like, I don't know, like pretend Russia right now had like the hottest, I don't know, what's like the biggest thing right now? I don't know, like pretend Russia decided like we figured out a way to invent water. You know what I mean? We'd put all of our resources, you know what I mean? We put the scientists, we put Logan Paul, we put Mia Khalifa. Everyone would be making what? That's what it was like back then.
Yeah.
So now we have everything.
now
that
there's no rush. You know?
yeah, we
It's
got to
like we're
introduce
chilling.
crack.
But-
We got to do crack again. You know what I mean? We gotta start fentanyl. You know what I mean? Like the moon is a past. That's why everyone's trying to get back to it, because it's like it shows dominance. So I think Elon fucking up for this little thing till the atmosphere. It's like trying to get past 50 pumps and sex. You know what I mean? You just
Also,
think about
it's
grandma.
not like-
Once you get past it, you're chilling. You know what I mean? You're in space. It's not hard, but you just got to get out of the atmosphere, and that with the least amount of shit, and
Also, it's not like
Challenger
they're
exploding.
using, they used like older rockets to get into the moon, to get to the moon,
Yeah.
Now they're trying like, the reason why he's barely making it out is because they're using new shit.
Yeah, you
He's
can't
like, how
put
can I make
monkeys.
this more efficient? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need.
yeah, and he's barely got off Earth, is what I'm saying. You know how far the moon is?
But he's also
Also,
trying.
how did my bigger question is? Okay, fine. We built. Let's say we did go to the moon. I'm not saying
Yeah.
we didn't, but
Yeah.
okay, let's say we did.
Yeah,
Okay, we built so much stuff on Earth, and it was like a very complicated thing.
yeah.
We did all the stuff. There's launch pads. Say we got there.
Yeah.
How the hell did we get back?
No, I think you have two brown people, and we need some other races here to go along with this.
We need a good Chinese person
I've
to
been-
talk about this.
I got an A in physics in fucking ninth grade, so I can't sit here and listen to you say that without pivoting to something good, educational. But it's all about fucking. It's all about blasting the boosters at the right time, and it pushes you this way, and then you have to have enough force to re-enter the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's just
Also, the
it's-
gravity
who
on the
gives
moon.
a fuck?
The gravity on the moon is much less than the gravity on
Yeah.
Earth, so it takes less to get from the moon back. And when they land,
unless you're Lizzo, but yeah,
and
there's
when they
bananas.
when they land, they don't fucking land, bro. They literally plummet towards Earth, and parachutes.
Well, that's
stop
why
them
they
and
landed in the water.
Yeah.
in the
Right,
ocean,
right,
yeah.
right. That's
I'm not saying they didn't, but here's the main reason why I think maybe like not that we stopped. We just stopped going.
Yeah, no, that was a mistake, and it created some confusion in society as to it's like, why did we create a flat screen TV and now we're going back to the old
No.
shit, or why have we it's just weird, yeah.
Columbus sailed from wherever, Italy, Spain to America.
Right.
That's like him doing that and then going back and be like, well, we went.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it.
But again,
We
we
got
have
there.
Marjorie Taylor's talking. We have space lasers apparently, and we got other shit. So how do you know? I mean, so we gotta get back to it. But here's my conspiracy. My only conspiracy, I believe, is like I think the NBA is putting something in the water.
Gotta
and
be.
These basketball players. I mean, you're telling me that they're wearing nylon and there's like hose on the. No one's having erections in a basketball. You don't see one dude with a boner. No one's popping up that into the waistband.
Well, they're also
no one's
straight.
tucking.
They're also straight.
But I'm talking. All these hoes are on the sideline. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, you're focused on game time.
Some of these kids are like from Embiid is like at least 14 years old. He's from Africa. We don't. I'm
Joel?
36. I'm popping a boner at like 3 p.m. on a Zoom once a week. None of these guys are getting hard during the game. Not one.
I don't know. I can't. I got cut from basketball in 7th grade, so
they're
I
putting
can't.
something.
But I was
something.
getting boners in 7th grade. That's why I got cut.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
was
that's
never an athlete, so I don't know how that works.
never. What's the last
you
sport
went
you
pro
played?
in drugs and stuff. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Yeah,
That was yes. The last sport I played was soccer freshman year. Of
Nice.
high school.
Nice. Yeah, I played soccer too growing up, and that was
I did tennis too.
okay. That's a brown sport right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Give us like another generation. We're gonna
Cricket.
be cricket.
You guys got cricket?
Oh, cricket, man.
I never
That's-
played competitively, but when the uncles came, we were playing out in the yard for sure.
What, cricket?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny to play sports with uncles, you know, because
Yeah.
like they're not built for sports. They're so bad at anything athletic.
Yeah. Well, the last time they played was like the Labor Day before.
Not
They get-
even.
They get
Maybe
pretty,
when they were
they
like
get kind of
6.
competitive.
Oh yeah.
They get
I mean,
like it's.
they
Like
are,
I'm 10, dude. Like you don't have to beat me in cricket.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. They call you a pussy or like a Muslim or whatever, and you have to play.
Well, that's how you grow.
Okay.
We got 14 minutes. I saw that.
yeah.
He's got to get out of here at 3 because he's got.
I didn't do my chore. Because there was a genuine misunderstanding. This is from my house manager. I'm talking. A genuine misunderstanding. So I apologize, but I will be back soon. I'm literally making them wrap it up early so I can get back.
That's fine.
Also,
No.
tell your guy. I mean, I guess I could tell him to. Yeah, come on next time too.
Yeah, Hunter, he wants you on next time, and I'll bring Jamal too. Jamal's really cool.
Perfect. We got 4 mics.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's watching this anyway.
Do they
Fine.
do? Yeah, not yet. Do they do comedy?
No, but they're funny. They're
I
pretty
can only
funny.
imagine. There's
Maybe-
so many
maybe-
stories, dude.
Well, because like a lot of addicts have like the best comedy.
Of course.
Like I've noticed, like because they have nothing, they don't care. They got nothing to lose. They just
Yeah.
go on stage and just talk,
Yeah.
and it's always so funny.
Yeah.
What they think is normal is the funniest thing ever.
Dude, I for like a long time was like, why is no one else like drinking every day? Like, why am I the only one who's like pounding vodka at 2 p.m., bro? Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
I just thought it was normal. I was like, you guys are the abnormal ones. I'm the normal ones.
I think it would be normal. I totally could do it. There's just, there's a part of me that just it's very slim though, that margin.
Yeah, like,
I could
work.
totally start drinking at any point.
Works. I mean, yeah, I gotta go to work. And if I get caught being hammered at work, then
It's not
that's
fun.
a problem.
It's not
No.
fun when you get caught hammering at work.
No. I can't imagine that would be fun. But yeah.
Shockingly, I've never done that. I've never gotten hammed and went to work.
Okay.
In college, we had unofficial St. Patrick's Day because on regular St. Patrick's Day, which was the big normal celebration, somebody
Mhm.
died.
Mm.
So they're like, we're going to make sure our spring break is during St. Patrick's Day, so you can't have St. Patrick's Day celebration. So instead of having it on St. Patrick's Day, we had
Yeah.
unofficial St. Patrick's Day
You-
the weekend before.
Yeah, you die at
And
Ocean City instead of the campus.
That's,
All right.
That's really the only
I
time
got you.
that like I've been hammered in class, like in a place of work, I guess, like in class. Like everybody's just blacked out in school.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's normal.
Yeah, well,
That's
it was normal.
normal.
On that campus.
Yeah.
Put me into any other campus though. On that day, I would look a little bit rambunctious.
Yeah, probably. I had friends that were, they were drinking and going to class and shit. That's pretty
Shit,
normal.
I was too, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
We were all a little fucked up consistently throughout college, I think, in some ways.
Yeah,
But the difference is some people stop. I never stopped.
Yeah.
I was like, why stop?
Yeah. No, I've kept a hold on it, but there's other things that I'm pretty sure, I could be in a halfway house for, pretty much.
all right, let's hear them. Spout them off.
I got a sugar problem. I got a big sugar problem.
No, well, that's the hospital, not a halfway house.
That's
Well, I'm
diabetes.
just saying, I'm addicted.
That's diabetes.
I could go in a halfway house if they kept donuts away from me. It'd be good for me. You know what I mean? Like, if there could be a zero sugar donuts, I'd definitely be on that. I don't know. I got a bunch of other stuff that I don't want to name on a goddamn podcast, but yeah, I've got problems. Yeah, I've got issues, but
how have we not? Also, okay, this isn't even a conspiracy, but it is to me. How have we not figured out a way to like zero sugar donuts? Like we've landed on the moon. How can we not make zero sugar donuts?
I think that's too far. I think it's just that would cause society.
Science hasn't reached away yet.
Exactly. See, that's what
I mean,
I'm saying.
we got Splenda. Splenda's pretty good. Why don't we make donuts out of Splenda?
Now they're saying Splenda's bad for you, though. Now they're like, oh, it could fuck you up. All these natural sugars are coming back.
You know, I
It was
hate that.
inevitable.
Like, one thing's good for you, and then the next minute it's like it's bad for you. Just do what you do, man.
Exactly.
Do what you do. We'll live a while. Human body's pretty resilient.
Yeah, just
And
stop
also,
one bad thing.
It annoys me when people are like, "Oh, that's not good for you." Especially people in fucking like sober houses are like, "Oh, it's not good for you. You didn't do it. You shouldn't do that." There's this dude in my sober house who only eats organic food, only gets organic shit, doesn't smoke cigarettes. He's like, it's bad for you. I don't think he knows he used to do a lot of heroin. Like, I'm like, you know what else is bad for you? He's like, that's got a lot of chemicals. I'm like, you know what has a lot of chemicals? The heroin that you shot into your bloodstream for a decade,
I know.
bro. Like,
I ate like Pop-Tarts
Yeah.
for breakfast for like 2 decades, so, you know.
My parents never. Well, my mom.
You never
was
got
a
Eggo
shot.
waffles?
Never
Nothing?
got.
Jesus.
Never got. We had oatmeal. We
Oh.
did the oatmeal. Never got Pop-Tarts because my mom's like, no, that's junk food. That's not good
Wow.
for you.
Good for her.
Yeah, bad for me though. All I wanted was Pop-Tarts and Lunchables. Never got Lunchable unless it was like a crazy day. My dad would go to the gas station and get some Lunchables. It'd be like, we can't make their lunches today. So
Yeah. Yeah. That shit. I'm glad that I didn't carry on the Lunchable phase into my 30s. You know what I mean?
yeah, right.
Yeah. Sometimes I do go to 7-Eleven when I'm a little, doot doot, and I stare at them for a bit, and I'm like, no one will know. But no, that cold pizza, yeah.
With that spreader, the little red spreader.
Yeah, the little plastic that you use for
Lunchables
cocaine
were
afterwards.
fun. They were fun. I mean, yeah, in grade school, they were fun though. They were like a fun. You like making.
I never got
lunch.
Lunchables either.
Never. Yeah. Same. My mom made me a sandwich. We got a sandwich, a granola bar, and a yogurt.
Oh yeah, I whined.
Or
I
like
whined.
or
I
an
got 'em.
apple or something.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah, I whined too, and I got nothing.
I was on that fruit snacks. That was the the
never
Gushers
got-
fruit roll-ups. I was rolling those into
you
joints.
see,
And
yeah, this is why you get the sugar addiction.
I know, and it's a brown thing. I think of brown people. I'm from a state in India where like we don't eat meat, nor do we drink alcohol. So
So you guys went.
So what do
ham.
you do? Yeah,
Where's that?
it's Gujarat. It's West
in
Side.
Gujarat, alcohol is like my sponsors from Gujarat.
It's like a
alcohol
low
is-
key
is
problem.
punishable by like
Really?
By-
Yeah,
like
yeah.
jail
If you go to the state and you have a U.S. passport, or if you're a foreign person, they'll serve it to you. But like, you can't openly just walk around. Like my uncle, when he was young, was a badass. When he was like 9, he used to go to the military base, and he used to talk to the soldiers, and he'd get alcohol, and he'd bring it back to his place and drink it in secret, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. It's so like coveted there. Like his friend would drop the bottle, it would
Yeah.
shatter. They'd beat the shit out of him, and then they'd take out their little rumals, the little like little handkerchiefs, and like
Yeah.
sop it all up and twist it into it's crazy there. But
yeah.
we have to eat sugar. Like they're all addicted to sugar because you eat vegetables for every meal. You don't feel anything, no excitement in life.
Yeah.
You have a good job, and you come home and you fucked your wife already 15 years ago, and so you just eat a bunch
I mean,
of sugar.
I can see that. Yeah, you're just the first time you ate sugar. Is
Yeah.
probably the best. Oh, you're like, oh my
see those
God,
babies'
how
eyes light
good.
up. Oh,
the first
God.
time you had like a Hershey chocolate. Like,
Ice cream.
When I thought about this, when I have a kid, I want to not feed him like chocolate until he's old enough to remember his first time having chocolate.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's
I feel like that would be
the
doing him a
best.
service. Like, you remember when you had your first chocolate
the
bar?
best first memory ever.
Yeah, right?
But he's gonna be mad at you for holding out on him for so long.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
be like, Dad, hey, why couldn't I eat chocolate until I was 15?
I gave you a good fucking memory, so okay, shut the hell up.
Here's a little lick of heroin at age 5, but you don't touch that Hershey bar until
Yeah.
you're
Back
12.
in the
God
day,
damn it!
I would I don't know why I was looking this up online, but so it was like a bottle from 1900, like a cough syrup bottle.
Okay.
It said
Make that lean.
Bayer.
Mm-hmm.
Bayer.
Yeah.
Like cough, whatever.
Yep.
With heroin.
Yeah.
And it just says it on the label.
I know.
Like
God.
heroin was like good for you then.
Oh, those were the fucking days, man.
Yeah, when heroin, like you had a cough and you just had the best day ever.
Just the best day humanly possible.
Oh, sorry, I got a cough. I gotta go to bed.
I gotta go to work. I can't come into work, boss. I gotta cough.
What is wrong with you?
Lil
Dev?
Wayne would just be like
I have
VP
a
of
cough.
finance at like a bank because like everyone's on lean and he's like doing math fine. Yeah.
It's the worst bank ever, though.
Probably the
I
best.
think life was a little bit more fun before we figured out how bad drugs were for you. Because now there's all this guilt that comes along with doing. You know
See,
what I mean?
think life was better before there were like rules for everything.
Yeah.
Like back then, there were like it was like heroin kind of makes you feel nice, fine. Now there's a rule for every single possible thing, so it's like everything is
Even if it's not written,
everything's a problem.
It's an unwritten rule. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Everything's a problem now, and I think that's when life was better, when there wasn't a rule for literally everything.
What do you mean by rules? Give me like a rule. Like what do you talk?
Like for instance, like back when, like maybe a rule, but like more innocence. Like Bayer was making heroin, so like that was like, but that was like they were innocently making heroin. They didn't know that it was going to become like black tar, black tar killing people heroin.
Right.
They were just like helping people.
Right.
But now there's heroin. Like every law is like there's like laws you can't do. Like
Yeah.
I think that if there were less laws about drugs, like it would be better. I do truly think that.
I think that also.
Yeah, I think we're on that path. We're going to legalize all this stuff in the next 15
Like
years.
I like,
sure.
and I'm not saying like we sell it at Walgreens. I'm not saying you go to Walgreens and get black tar heroin. I'm saying just decriminalize it. Don't make it like you sell it, but just if you get caught with it, like come on, man.
Can you imagine pushing a button at fucking Target and just being like behind the glass and just waiting there? Can I have that black tar heroin over there?
Let me get a button of black tar, please.
And some native shampoo, please.
I've got native body wash in there. It smells great.
So you're telling me that we had to get rid of the Cleveland Indians, we had to get rid of the Redskins. Native, I checked the back of it. There's no Choctaw mention. There's no. That's the most egregious thing. That's bad. No. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you're
like
onto
all of
something
the
right
Indians. That's fucking crazy. They gotta name that I don't know, Caucasian or something.
Cock.
Cock. Yeah. I just rubbed cock all over my face. 2:57. All right.
You got 3 minutes left.
You got 3 minutes. Let's plug our dates. I got nothing. You go.
No, I don't plug my dates on here, but I also got nothing. But I am Tom Carlos Kelly on the IG. Yeah, follow. Tell your friends about the new pod, buddy.
Yep.
Thanks for Sheel for coming out.
Of course,
yeah.
my name is Sheel Carlos Kelly, and you can find me on Instagram.
What is your Instagram? I'll get it after.
He'll put it in the bio.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's inactive. It's stupid. I'll get it going one day, but it won't be through
once
this.
Once we become hugely famous, then
Then
we'll have our people
years.
check in on it.
Yeah. No, it's just my first name, last name, Sheel Mehta at Instagram.com. So if you friend me, I'll friend you back. But
For sure, I have 3 followers right now. So
I will
Yeah,
message
well, you
you.
had 2 before I just followed
I
you.
know.
Right now.
Yeah, I gained a 3rd one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it, or do you have to look it up again?
I have to look it up again.
Okay, so his Instagram is _dev_Swami.
That's
Yeah.
it. I should know that. He
should know that, but
that.
I'm
So
the one.
are you related to Vivek Ramaswamy at any? No. Okay.
Vivek
All right.
Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
But
Well,
hey, we'll see you soon. Keep doing the comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
Huh?
I will. I'd love to come on again if you'll
Oh
have me.
hell yeah! Oh, also bring your buddies.
I will bring my buddies.
that'd be a good app. I'll sit over there and just watch. I'd really like to listen.
We'll squeeze a spot.
I'll just
in.
be the off
We'll
guy
figure it out.
laughing off camera. You need one of those guys now, so I'll be that dude.
We'll figure it out. Hey, everybody, take it easy. Thanks.